Hello friends, in this video I am going to show about Poland's agriculture. Let's start at. Poland's agricultural sector is vital for European global market because it produces a variety of agricultural, horticultural and animal origin products. The surface area of agricultural land in Poland is 15.4 million ha, which constitutes nearly 50% of the total area of the country. Agriculture in Poland has always been an important part of the country's economy. Out of the 18.727 million hectares of agricultural land, 14.413 million hectares were used for crop cultivation, 265,000 hectares for orchards, and about 4,048,500 hectares for meadows and pastures in 1989. In most areas, soil and climatic conditions favored a mixed type of farming. Poland is an important European and global producer of a number of agricultural and horticultural products, as well as products of animal origin. The surface area of agricultural land in Poland is 15.4 million ha, which constitutes nearly 50% of the total area of the country. The rural area is inhabited by more than 9 million people. Agricultural production conditions differ in Poland, especially as compared to EU agriculture. The number of private farms exceeds 2 million. Most of them have relatively small areas, 9 ha on average. Considerable part of farmers applies traditional production methods, where products are only for farmers' own family. Animal breeding is usually carried out with small intensity, which contributes to the protection of the natural environment. However, simultaneously, there are more and more big market-oriented agricultural holdings, including those specializing in production for export. Despite a significant dispersion of agricultural holdings and the prevalence of soils with low usefulness, Poland is an important European and global producer of agricultural and horticultural products, as well as products of animal origin. The most important crops are grains, of which the highest yields came from rye, wheat, barley, and oats. Other major crops are potatoes, sugar beets, fodder crops, flax, hops, tobacco, and fruits. Farms all over Poland raise dairy cows, beef cattle, pigs, poultry, and cultivate fruit. Poland produced in 2018 14.3 million metric tons of sugar beet, sixth largest producer in the world, which serves to produce sugar and ethanol. 9.8 million metric tons of wheat, 17th largest producer in the world. 7.4 million metric tons of potato, 9th largest producer in the world. 4 million metric tons of triticale, largest producer in the world. 4 million metric tons of apple, third largest producer in the world, behind China and USA. 3.8 million metric tons of maize, corn. 3 million metric tons of barley, 14th largest producer in the world. 2.2 million metric tons of rapeseed, 8th largest producer in the world. 2.1 million metric tons of rye, second largest producer in the world, just behind Germany. 1.1 million metric tons of oats, fifth largest producer in the world. 985,000 metric tons of cabbage. 928,000 metric tons of tomatoes. 726,000 metric tons of carrot. 562,000 metric tons of onion. 538,000 metric tons of cucumber. In 1989, Poland was the second largest producer of rye and potatoes in the world. The latter were used as vegetables, as fodder for pigs, and in the production of industrial starch and alcohol. The country occupied 6th place in the world in sugar beet, milk, and pig production. The quantity and quality of agricultural land ensured self-sufficiency and made considerable quantities of various agricultural products and processed foodstuffs available for export. In 1990, grain production dominated Polish agriculture. The highest yields came from wheat, rye, barley, oats. Other major crops included potatoes, sugar beet, fodder crops, flax, hops, tobacco, and fruits. Cultivation of corn expanded during the 1980s, but remained limited. The northern and east-central regions of the country mainly offered poorer sandy soils suitable for rye and potatoes. The richer soils of the central and southern parts of the country, excluding those at higher elevations, made those regions the centers of wheat, sugar beet, hops, and tobacco production. The more accessible land at higher elevations was used to cultivate oats or was left as meadow and pasture land. In 1989, almost half of Poland's arable land was used for the cultivation of the 4 major grains. Another 13% grew tomatoes. All regions of Poland raised dairy cows, beef cattle, pigs, and poultry, and cultivated fruit, usually as an integral part of mixed farming. In 2000, Poland exported 26% of the bacon it produced, as well as 63% of the ham, 16% of the tinned meat, 10% of the poultry, 17% of the sugar, and 67% of the frozen fruits and vegetables. Beginning with decollectivization in 1956, Poland was the only member of Comecon, where the private sector predominated in agriculture. The state maintained indirect control, however, through the state agencies that distributed needed input materials and purchased agricultural produce. Compulsory delivery quotas were maintained for farms until the beginning of the 1970s. The state also retained significant influence on the process of cultivation, restrictions on the size of farms, and limitations on the buying and selling of land. Until the beginning of the 1980s, the allocation system for fertilizers, machines, building materials, fuels, and other inputs discriminated severely against private farmers. As a result of these policies, private farms remained inefficiently small and labor-intensive. I hope everyone enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. Please subscribe my channel for more informative videos. Thanks.